Everybody, good morning. I'm so honored to be here with you this morning, and it is my task to talk to you in 15 minutes about the very thing that's probably keep most of you guys up at night. My financial picture. And so what I'm going to do again, I'm going to give you a couple nuggets, and I'm already antsy because I can't wait to get to the exchange and the dialogue because I want to hear from you guys and hear what you're going through. But let's just talk a little bit. Uh, Brandon, if you can put that first slide up for me that says financial dashboard. We're going to jump right into this. And again, I'm so eager to hear from you and to learn about some of the things you guys are doing. Slide number 2, if we can, Brendan. And I think everybody can see it over in the corner. We'll go ahead and jump in so I can make sure I take full advantage of your time. And you see financial dashboard. What I want to say to you again is that I really think Enterprise has really positioned us very well, even very well for the crisis that we're currently in. Um, if you're like me, because I'm not only an instructor, I am a partaker of this information with my own businesses. And the value of Module 2 in the curriculum has skyrocketed for me. And I hope that it has done the same for you. And just to echo what Brandon just said to us, is that I'm hopeful that you guys are still guiding yourselves by your SGAP, that it's not somewhere collecting dust. It is a living, breathing document that should be referred to quite often. And the SGAP will help us through this crisis that COVID-19 has created for us by driving home some of those lessons that we learned in Module 2, the financial module. So let's dig into that a little bit. This overall curriculum, the overall curriculum Enterprise, one of the major takeaways from the curriculum is that it teaches you the necessity of adjustments. This whole iterative process, this whole back and forth process. Now the circumstances around us are forcing us into adjustments, but this curriculum has positioned us to realize that this is par for the course for us CEOs, for us entrepreneurs. So it really shouldn't be much of a departure from what we normally do. We just feel the intensity of the moment, but you should be used to making adjustments. And so what I want to drive home with this first PowerPoint, we went a little too far on the slide there, Brandon. Um, I want to drive home the necessity.
Are you still on, sorry, Wendell, are you still on the financial dashboard one?
I'm still there.
I'm sorry, there you go.
There you go, buddy. Thank you.
Is that a better view, everyone? I got some chats that maybe the view wasn't right. Is this okay? Wendell, can you see it all right to lead? I just want to make sure we're okay.
I can.
Okay.
I want to drive home again the importance and the effectiveness of this tool that you were taught in terms of creating your financial dashboard with your fundamental ratios. This is gold for you right now. What the dashboard should be telling you, if you're viewing it like you should, the dashboard and the ratios that are on the dashboard are telling you when and where to make your adjustments, and the adjustments adjustments to the goals that you created in Module 1. But we'll come back to that in a second. What I want us to realize so that we can remain optimistic in this time is that these fundamental ratios, they're not telling me to quit. And they're also not telling me to necessarily panic. Again, they are just telling me the necessity of adjustments. And you will be doing this. You will be practicing adjustments regardless. Once we come out of this pandemic, this is just going to be par for the course. But now you have a tool in front of you that tells you the areas of your business where you need to focus. And so you need to pull this out and look at it on a regular basis to find out, where do I need to make these adjustments? Make these adjustments so that we not only survive, but that we actually improve our business. This is a great time to improve your business. One of the things, one of the major feedback I've been getting from the cohorts here in South Carolina is that oftentimes they felt like they were too busy to implement the things that they were being taught through the program. Now they have time. And now having this time, their optimism is growing by leaps and bounds because they can actually see the benefits to their business even now while we're still dealing with the effects of COVID-19. So again, pull your dashboard back out. Look at it. What are my ratios? What are my numbers telling me now? So again, that I would not only survive, I will improve my business so that when I come out of this, I can come out of this thing swinging. And we are going to come out of it. We are. The ratios, these ratios should ultimately be driving you to the tighter management of your cash flow. As you can see there, I emphasize it. Cash flow, cash flow, cash flow. That's the thing. We ought to be able to call you at 2 o'clock in the morning and you jump out of your sleep and screaming cash flow. That's the life's blood of your business. The management of your cash flow, listen guys, will not only determine your viability, your ability to survive, your viability, but here's the part that excites me. The management, the tight management of your cash flow will also determine your positioning when this is over. Granted, there will be businesses that will not survive. That's going to happen. Some of your competitors will not survive. They don't have the training you have, they don't have the fundamentals you have, and they don't have the discipline that you have to execute those fundamentals. But you have to manage your cash flow so that you will be positioned that when this ends, when the pandemic is over, there will still be a need for your service, and there will be the likelihood of a smaller competitive base that you're up against. But the question will be, will you be positioned because of the management of your cash flow to go after that business? I need you thinking right now about how healed you will be in 6 months, 12 months, whenever this thing subsides. Will you be positioned to go after all of the business, take care of all of the needs, because there are fewer players in the market? Think in those terms, managing today, making the tough decisions today, because you want to make sure that your company is healthy enough to capitalize on the opportunities that will be there. Again, I want to repeat, the need is not going away. The need is not. The need will come back. The need for your services will come back. But will you have the cash reserves to even go after the business? You need to be thinking about those terms. Again, so back in those terms. So backing up again, managing my cash flow, looking at my dashboard so I'm paying close attention to my business, the healthiness of my business, so that I'll be positioned to jump on these things. And in that same vein, you have to be managing your terms, receivables terms, inventory terms, payable terms. You need to focus on that incredibly, because that's going to help you boost your cash flow. That's going to help you project your cash flow. Those need to be the things that you're examining quite often. Listen, in terms of your receivables, your clients are going to be, and you probably already know this, your clients are going to be looking for relief themselves by stretching out your receivables. You need to keep a close eye on that. And you need to hold their feet to the fire without damaging the relationship, because again, we're going to come out of this. And we want those healthy relationships to be intact. But this season will also teach you which clients really weren't good clients for you anyway. You're going to have to monitor that closely. You cannot allow your cash, your earned cash, to just sit over in their accounts. You need that money in your account. Now, running the temptation of sounding a little hypocritical, let's flip the coin over. When it comes to your payables, you need to see how far you can push those things out. You need to see how far you can stretch it to give yourself some relief, again, without damaging those relationships you're going to need when this is over. And it will be over one day. But you, in the effort to manage your cash flow, you have to pay closer attention to those terms. And last but not least, when it comes to your dashboard, the frequency of your reports. Let's admit it, guys. We've had a really good run for a long time, which may have caused us to not examine our numbers as often because we felt like we didn't have to. Maybe you reviewed your dashboard every 3 months, or quarterly, every month. Now you might need to boost that up just a little. If you were doing it every month, maybe every bi-weekly. In some cases, if there's some activity, if there's a decent amount of activity in your business, you may need to be examining this on a weekly basis. I would not advise you to do it daily. That's going to drive you crazy. But on a weekly basis may be necessary just based on the amount of activity that you have right now. But the frequency in which you examine your numbers has to increase. Now, all of this should result in greater discipline for you, greater habits for you, and maybe even the introduction of some new systems within your organization to be able to do this. So again, you're much more efficient when the economy is restored. This should not just be crisis mode that we create during this time. We should be looking for creating systems of greater efficiency, systems that should be in place once this economy is booming again, which again will set you above your competition. So again, view this as a time to deeply inspect your business, to be disciplined, to watch those numbers and figure out where the adjustments are necessary. Okay, Brandon, I think I stayed on that one a little too long. Go ahead and move to slide number 2 for me. Let's talk about that. Here is something that has come up quite a bit with my cohorts. And again, it's avoiding the temptation of sacrificing profitability for busyness. What do I mean by that? Listen, guys, scaling your business is still the goal. Despite COVID-19, scaling your business is still the goal. That's why you participated in this program. Profitability and cash flow management. Profitability and cash flow management will enable you to do just that. That's why I emphasize you focusing on that. Profitability. Here's the temptation right now. The temptation is this: I will accept anything just to keep busy. That is a slow death. Because if you gain clients at a reduced margin, later on, you're going to have a hard time negotiating up, trying to get back to your desired profitability. And in that temptation, I think someone alluded to this earlier because you talk about the human impact right now, and that we are human, and you guys are overseeing employees, and this is impacting their lives. And so oftentimes the temptation, and I really saw this with my contractors, the temptation is to accept any job just so they can keep their people employed, but they're eating away at their profitability. They're damaging their cash flow, and they are weakening their position for the future. Their break even may be in a deal, but their business is not set up to operate at break even. Their business is set up to operate at profit, at a designated profit. And when you sacrifice that profit just to keep things moving, you're actually possibly sacrificing your future too, because you are eroding your cash reserves. And you are creating a reputation within the community that's going to be hard for you to change when things improve. It's going to be hard to go back to the margins that you're used to. And so in some cases, you may still have to walk away from deals because people are having some opportunistic behavior right now, and they may believe they can squeeze you. And it may be hard for you to recover. And in that same vein, you might have to make some of these tough CEO decisions and reduce your expenses, mainly being reduced headcount. Fortunately for us, the way things are set up with the stimulus, there are some pretty nice deals now in terms of unemployment. And so there are ways you can help those employees and position them to come back when things are better. But you may have to make those tough calls right now. And that's part of the job of being the CEO. All right, Brandon, the last slide, and then we're going to open it up for discussion. All of this, and I spoke to you about your dashboard. The dashboard should be telling me where I need to make my adjustments. Prior to this breakout, this year looked like it was really going to be gangbusters. Last year was good, momentum was going. You probably started out this year with some wonderful goals, wonderful growth goals. Now, the dashboard, if you're reviewing it, your SGAP should be telling you those things have to be adjusted. Please hear me. Adjustments are not fatalities. Adjustments is reality. It is. It does not mean you're quitting. It does not mean anything negative about your leadership. It demonstrates the wisdom of your leadership. So lowering your goals right now is probably unavoidable. And your numbers are probably telling you have to lower your goals. It's probably unavoidable unless you're one of the businesses that's really capitalizing on the epidemic. Some businesses are doing great. If you're creating PPE equipment and all that stuff, you're doing very well right now. If you're assisting Amazon with delivering packages, you might be doing very well right now. But most of us are finding some constriction in our numbers, reduction in revenue, and even profitability. So you need to adjust your goals. It proves you to be responsible. And so look back at these fundamentals that the dashboard is showing you. These fundamentals will make sure that you're part of the management of these fundamentals, will make sure you are part of the group that survives this and come out better positioned to capitalize on all the things that are going to be available when this is over. All right, that's my presentation. Those are some nuggets, but let's have some conversation now, and then we can dig a little deeper